At the beginning of the story, we are shown a child named Adlet whose family was killed by the Demon King, but he somehow managed to escape from there. Now for the next 3 years, he spends a very difficult time without his family. But one day he meets the king of his kingdom whose name was Ito. He asks King Ito to fulfill his wish and tells that he wants to become the strongest man in the world, on which King Ito tells him that he will live like a useless person all his life and he should forget this, on which Adlet gets angry at the king and starts screaming. He tells the king that now no one from my family is alive, so I also do not want to live such a life, on which the king throws him away with a strong kick and tells him that if you want to become strong then you will have to smile even in pain. Now the king keeps hitting him in this way, due to which Adlet was feeling pain, but even then he starts smiling after getting beaten by the king. Adlet understood what the king wanted to explain to him. Now time keeps passing like this and Adlet keeps training himself so that he can become the strongest man in the world, and one day he can join the 6 heroes whom the Queen of Faith had to choose so that they can fight and defeat the Demon King. Now the time after 400 years is shown when the fight of the world's most powerful warriors was to begin, in which the world's most powerful man was to be chosen. Now the fight of 2 fighters was about to begin when Adlet arrives there and calls himself the world's most powerful fighter, but no one pays attention to him. That is why Adlet tells those 2 fighters to fight with him, but both of them do not listen to him. Now Adlet was surrounded by the guards present there, but Adlet kills all those guards using the weapons he has. Seeing this, both the fighters are surprised and come forward to fight Adlet. They attack Adlet, but Adlet saves himself very easily from all their attacks and kills them using the gas bombs he has. Using his magic, he creates smoke everywhere, and taking advantage of that smoke, as soon as he starts attacking a fighter, that fighter sees him and throws his sword away. But this was also a trick of Adlet. He blinds that fighter using the gas weapon present with him and throws his hands and feet on the ground. In this way he defeats one fighter easily. But then we see that the other fighter was also sitting on the ground. Actually, Adlet had thrown sharp nails everywhere which were poisonous. 2. Now the other fighter was sitting on the ground because all those poisonous nails got stuck in his feet, and in this way Adlet defeated both of them and proved himself to be the most powerful man in the world. After this, Adlet comes in front of the statue of Queen of Faith and says that if she likes his performance then she should include him in those 6 heroes whom she will choose. But then that first fighter attacks Adlet again, and all the people present in the crowd, they start throwing food items on him. Actually, Adlet was arrested. Now when he was in jail, a beautiful girl comes there who praises Adlet's fighting ability and asks permission to touch his shirt, but Adlet does not let her do so, on which both of them shake hands. Adlet tells her his sad story, on which the girl applauds him that how he is so strong even after going through all this. The girl asks Adlet that why does he call himself a strong person, on which Adlet tells her that he wants to join those 6 heroes whom the Queen of Faith will choose. The name of that group will be 6 Brave Flowers, and they all will defeat the Demon King who is going to return to this world very soon. Now when Adlet pays attention, he finds out that the girl is a princess, and a princess cannot come to the jail to meet a prisoner like this, but the princess leaves from there without telling him anything. After this, the next in the morning, the king sentences him to death, and he had to remain hungry all this time. He is thrown into a well where he keeps himself alive by drinking rainwater for 2 months. 3 months pass like this, and now his arm was also healed and he was also successful in keeping himself alive. Now he starts thinking how he can escape from there, but that very night when all the citizens of that kingdom were sleeping peacefully, the sky suddenly turns red. Actually, all this was a sign that a new Demon King has been born. Then a new faith comes to Adlet in that well and puts the mark of the 6 Brave Flowers group on his hand. Adlet is surprised to see all this, but at the same time he was also happy that he has been included in those 6 heroes. Now seeing this, Adlet starts shouting at the guards present there so that they let him go from there, but then the princess comes there and tells him that he has also been included in those 6 heroes, on which Adlet also shows her flower crest mark. Along with this, the princess activates the power of her weapon, due to which all the guards present there die, and the iron mesh closing the well from above also breaks. After this, Adlet comes out very easily. The name of that princess was Nia. She came out of Adlet but was present there. She also pushes the last guard into the well and throws him into the well. After this, both of them run away from there. In fact, Nestania had parked 2 horses at the palace gate to escape from there. Both of them sit on those horses and run towards the forest. Both of them were going to the village of the Demon King, where they had to meet the rest of the heroes. On the way, Adlet stops at his house so that he can take some of his important things from there. After this, both of them start their journey again, and the next day they reach a village. That village was very beautiful, and Nestania was enjoying seeing it. She satisfies her hunger by eating the fruits there and also shows her sword magic to Adlet. She throws all her blades at Adlet, but Adlet uses his power and escapes from all those strokes and asks Nestania to come back to her senses. That night, when they were lying near the fire, Adlet tells Nestania that it will take some more time for them to reach the village of the Demon King. Now the next morning, they see a village like this. They reach the village where all the people were being evacuated. Adlet asks Nestania to be cautious because the enemy could attack them at any time. Actually, all those people were being evacuated from there. After this, while passing through the forest, Adlet and Nestania see a family who were running away from there to save their lives. On Nestania asking, the woman tells them that their village has been attacked by monsters sent by the Demon King. Adlet starts running towards that village to find out if the woman is speaking the truth. But after reaching there, he sees that the monsters are actually attacking and killing people. Seeing this, Adlet gets angry. He thinks of a plan. He draws the attention of those monsters towards himself so that Nestania can attack them. Seeing this, Adlet throws fire liquid on those monsters and sets them on fire, but Nestania very easily kills all the other monsters. After this, Adlet draws the attention of the remaining monsters towards himself by whistling, and while avoiding their attack, he attacks them and kills them. But Nestania again uses her skills and very easily kills the remaining monsters. Actually, Adlet had body power, while Nestania had the skill to use blades easily. Now seeing this, Adlet praises her because both of them had killed all those monsters, and now all the people of the village were also safe, on which Nestania tells him that she will always help him because she is his fan. Now then, a woman standing there tells Adlet that a girl is still imprisoned by those monsters inside the village, on which Adlet thinks of going to that girl. But Nestania stops him by saying that we cannot save everyone, so we should focus on our goal and get out of here. But Adlet does not listen to her and starts going inside the village, on which Nestania also starts following him. Then more monsters come there, and the people of the village start running away from there, going inside the village. Adlet finds out that all the houses present there have been destroyed. Now Adlet sees a monster there who was shot dead. He understood that all this was done by that girl. He sees that the girl is still present in the village and she is saving a puppy. Adlet found that girl very beautiful. On seeing Adlet, she asks her to leave from there because she did not know that Adlet is a hero. On seeing Adlet, Adlet starts telling her about himself, but the girl tells her her name and shoots at her. Actually, she had the ability to create bullets herself using her magic. The name of that girl was Flammy, and she was also a hero. Now Adlet comes to Flammy holding his horse and tries to convince her that she is not his enemy, but Flammy is not believing anything he says. On the other hand, a knight comes to Nestania. He tells Nestania that he is also a hero and also shows his flower crest. He tells Nestania that I will protect you because a girl who has killed many warriors is also present here, and her name is Flammy and she has the ability to make bullets. Now hearing all this, Nestania is very surprised. On the other hand, Flammy tells Adlet that she did not like him from the beginning because she did not like the way he entered the warriors' fight. She tells him that she wants to fight the Demon King alone, so she will not join them. Saying this, she fires another bullet, which scares Adlet's horse badly. Seeing this, Flammy runs away from there. On this, Adlet ties some stuff and a letter to his horse and drives it away from there and starts chasing Flammy himself. Flammy ran away into the forest, and now Adlet could not see her at all, but Adlet somehow sees her and starts chasing her. Flammy tries to divert Adlet's attention by tying 2 stones to a tree, but Adlet sees her, on which Flammy is very surprised that how he finds her so easily. Flammy thought that she had escaped from Adlet, but Adlet was now standing in front of her, meaning that he had found her. Seeing this, Flamey again points her gun at Adlet, on which Adlet tries to explain to her that she cannot fight the Demon King alone. But Flamey does not listen to anything she says. She was not understanding this, on which Adlet throws the gas bomb he has with him towards Flamey. Now there is smoke everywhere. Taking advantage of all this, Adlet takes her bag from her and tells her that he will not leave her now, on which Flamey raises his gun to shoot him. But Adlet is not afraid of him at all and starts walking backwards. Amy wanted to shoot him but was unable to kill him, so she lets him go from there. In fact, Flamey had accepted her offer. He knew that if his bullet does not hit Adlet, then only he will be at a loss because his bullet will be wasted. But if she supports Adlet and listens to him, then she will benefit. On the other hand, a monster attacks Nashtania, and that night, the knight tries to kill him. But that monster was very powerful, on which Neshatnia uses his skills, and everywhere Bladiso monster understood this trick of Neshatnia, and then he starts attacking Neshatnia. But Knight succeeds in killing him. They had just killed that monster when another monster appeared there, but this time Knight kills that monster quite easily. Then they see Adlet's horse on which his luggage was kept, and along with it there was also a letter which Adlet had written. When Nia reads that letter, she comes to know that Adlet has asked her to go alone towards the village of the Demon King, because he himself was going to go with Flamey. Now we see that Adlet and Flamey were going through a forest, where Flamey tells her that one day they will kill each other because only Flamey will kill the Demon King. Adlet does not understand what Flamey is saying. Then they see a village. On looking from a distance, they come to know that smoke is coming out from there, which means that the people there are in trouble. On reaching the gate of the village, Adlet returns Flamey's bag and starts speaking something loudly at the gate, on which the guards present there do not understand who this person is and what he is saying. Now Adlet tells them all that he is a hero, on which the security guards tell him that a few days ago 2 heroes had come here, but now they have gone towards the temple, on which the main gate of the palace of that village opens, and the commander of that village comes there and tells that the monsters have killed all their army and now only a few people are left who are alive. The commander tells them that before his arrival, the Demon King has sent monsters to kill all the warriors and heroes present in the surrounding villages. The commander tells Adlet and Flamey a plan that how they can stop the monsters before they reach here through the barriers present in the forest. Those barriers were actually made by the king there, who was no longer there, and those barriers present in the forest could be easily activated from his palace, and the system of activating the barriers was made safe by Assault by making magical walls from his palace. Actually, Senate of Salt was the name of a magician who knew the magic of salt. All this meant that the system present in the palace cannot be destroyed in any way, that is, the monsters cannot destroy that system, and he tells that when all the heroes come here, then one of you heroes will activate the barrier with the help of the barrier system present here, due to which all the monsters present in the forest will be imprisoned. But if even one hero fails to do this, then all will be killed by the Demon King. Adlet understood the entire plan of the commander, but he asks the commander that if no hero could fight the Demon King, then the commander tells him that they also have a plan B. Actually, inside the same temple, they also had a copy of the barrier system in which the barriers could be activated by inserting the sword. Adlet thinks to give it a try, and after inserting the sword in it, he understood something. Now they come out of the palace and start going towards the temple. On the way, Adlet thinks whether Nesetnia would have reached the temple or not, because she along with Nesetnia is going to kill Flame. Adlet wanted to save Knight, but Flammy was sure that Adlet was his enemy. Then an arrow comes from somewhere, on which Adlet pushes Flammy away. That arrow was thrown at them by none other than Nestnia. Flammy saved herself, and now she starts shooting at Nestnia from her gun. Actually, Nestnia was saving Adlet from Flammy, but Adlet was only worried about Flammy. So when he sees that Knight is about to attack Flammy, he saves Knight from the fire, but Nestnia was continuously attacking Flammy, from which Flammy was protecting herself. Now Adlet shouts at both of them and says that you both should not fight like this. Nestnia creates a new shield around herself to protect herself. Now Knight removes Adlet from himself so that he can attack Flammy, but Adlet throws mud in his eyes so that he can stop him. On the other hand, Flammy is now attacking Nestnia. She was about to do that, on which Adlet throws a stone at her, and in this way Nest saves Nia from Flamey's bullet. Now seeing all this, it seemed like that all of them were enemies of Flamey, and Flamey was fighting with them to save her life, but in reality it was not like that. All this was happening due to a misunderstanding. Now Adlet comes between them and asks everyone to stop. He tells everyone that Flamey is a hero like them. And to prove this, he also shows the flower crest on her hand, on which Nest Nia tells him that she is a killer who has killed many heroes so far. Actually, all this was told by Nest Nia Konite. Now seeing all this, Flamey again raises her gun on Adlet and accepts that she has killed many heroes. When Adlet asks her the reason, she tells that in this way she can kill the Demon King easily and quickly. Night thought that now she should kill Flamey because she has accepted that he has killed many heroes. Seeing this, Adlet starts protecting Flamey from the attack of Nest Nia and Night, but Flamey was still not listening to her. Adlet felt that there must be some reason behind Flamey doing all this, and they should know that reason. Seeing this, Night and Nest Nia retreat. Now Adlet shows them a map through which they can go towards the temple. Now in the forest, they see some birds in the sky. When Adlet looks at them closely, he realizes that they are monsters and they have explosions which they are throwing to create havoc everywhere. Seeing this, all of them start running away from there, but on going further, the monsters were in front of them. On the orders of Neset Nia, the knight first goes ahead and kills a monster, and after that he kills another monster as well. Seeing this, Neset Nia throws his blades on all the monsters, which kills all those monsters, but those monsters were not ending. Actually, there were too many of them. Adlet also starts killing those monsters using his skills, and in the same way, Flamey was also killing those monsters. Actually, those monsters wanted to stop them from going towards the temple. That is why Neset Nia asks Adlet to go towards the temple so that he himself can stop those monsters. Seeing this, Adlet runs away from there. On reaching the temple, he sees that an old woman is lying down on the stairs outside, but that woman immediately asks him to go inside the temple first, so that he can activate the barrier system, but Adlet knew that the gate of the temple cannot be opened easily, so he puts a lot of explosions there, due to which the gate of the temple opens with a bang. On going inside, Adlet sees that it is very dark inside and maybe some monster is hiding in that darkness, so he takes out his sword, but then two knights attack him, but Adlet kills them easily. Now after killing them, he comes to know that they were not humans but empty statues made of iron. On the other hand, that old woman had also turned into a monster, and before Adlet could kill that monster runs away from there. Then Adlet sees that there is a lot of smoke there now. Actually, the barriers were activated, but Adlet is surprised to see who activated these barriers. He goes inside the temple and looks, then someone has entered the sword in the barrier system. Then the rest of the heroes also come there. They all ask him that who did he do it? Why did he activate the barrier system like this? On which he tells that someone else has done all this. Actually now all of them were imprisoned there and could not go out from there. Knight takes out his sword so that the barrier system can be deactivated again, but it does not happen. Now the second hero, i.e. Adlet, throws his blood on that stone, but it also does not make any difference. After this shit, Nia shouts loudly and hits her sweat on the stone so that she can deactivate the barrier system, but she also fails to do this. Flamey was watching all this and she knew that now all this is useless. Then a girl named Chimo comes there. She tells that she is also a hero. Adlet tells her that he is the most powerful person in the world, on which Chimo tells him that I think you are weaker than a straw because you people have tried to kill Flamey, on which Flamey takes her ass out on Chimo. Then another girl comes there whose name was Mora, and she was also a hero. In this way, this group of 6 brave flowers was completed. Mora tells that there is a fake hero also present among them. Then another hero comes there. Now everyone is surprised to see that from where did this 7th hero come? To prove that he is the real hero, Adlet asks everyone to show their flower crest. Actually, centuries ago, the Queen of Faith had divided the power of her flower crest into 6 parts so that when the time comes, each hero gets the 6 petals of the flower crest, and in this way those 6 flower petals were to be divided into 6 heroes. But one of those 7 heroes, whose name was Hans, also showed his flower crest. After this, Hans and Adlet go out of the temple and try to see if they can get out of this barrier. Adlet was marking all the trees present there with the help of a rope so that he could see where the end of that barrier is, but he comes back to the same place from where he had started. On the other hand, Hans was also marking the ground with a stick so that he could see what was at the end of the barrier, but he also stopped at the same point from where he had started. This meant that they cannot get out of the barrier. Seeing this, they return inside the temple. Adlet tells Nashtenia that there is only one way to get out of this place, that is to use the fog present outside. They remove the smoke from there. Then Adlet sees that Flamey is tied in a chain, but Flamey tells him that you do not need to worry about me. Now Mora tells all the people present there that there was no way to remove that barrier in the Book of Divine, and that barrier can only be deactivated by the one who entered that sword system. Adlet knew that only a human can activate the barrier system, so he knew that among all of them, there is one from the family of Demon King. Mora tells him that if it is known who is the only hero among us, then this fog can be removed by killing him. Hearing this, Chimo gets angry and runs to kill Flamey because she thought that all this has happened because of him. But Adlet stops Jimmet from doing all this and says that Flamey has no fault in all this, on which Mora gives their introduction to everyone. On which first of all Adlet climbs to a high place present there and tells everything about himself. Now all the heroes present there are surprised that how did the Queen of Faith include him in this group. After this, everyone starts telling about themselves one by one, and finally it is Flamey's turn. She removes his cap from his head and also opens his chain, which shows that he has a horn on his head. Now Flamey tells about herself that her father was a human, but her mother was a monster, and that is why she has a horn on her head. The Demon King used to make her do whatever he wanted. Her mother also kidnapped many people and forcibly built a temple for the Demon King. Actually, all of them were very happy on the return of the Demon King, on which Mora asks that why do you want to kill the Demon King now, on which Flamey tells her that if she tells him the reason, then no one will believe her. But then Adlet tells that she now wants to kill the Demon King and in these all the monsters also because she is half human. Adlet thought that she is a real hero and she did not activate the barrier, but Hans thought that Flamey has done all this because she is half human and half monster too, due to which all those tasks which a human cannot do, Flamey can do easily, and along with this, all those tasks which a monster cannot do, Flamey can also do easily. That is, she was completing the duties of both sides, on which Flamey tells him that Hans is right, but I did not activate the barrier because in his opinion, Mora has done all this. Now after hearing all this, Adlet feels that after some time they will start suspecting her too, but at that time she only had to save Flamey. Then Zimmet comes running towards Flamey and says that this fog will go away from here only by killing him. But Hans says that Flamey did not cheat them, but the real betrayal has been done with them by Adlet, who is a fake hero. Now all this hearing this, Nestenia gets worried, due to which the knight also got worried for Nestonia. Seeing all this, Adlet tells them all that when he came there, while opening the gate, a fog spread there which meant that someone is already present inside. Hearing all this, Nestenia tells Adlet that she believes in his words and whatever happens, she will not leave him. Seeing this, Hans tells everyone that the temple gate cannot close again after opening once, so all the stories told by Adlet are false. Now after hearing all this, everyone starts believing Hans, and they also start thinking Adlet to be a fake hero. Adlet says that someone must have entered the temple from below the ground, on which Mora tells him that this is not possible because the guards present inside attacked the first person when the door opens, which meant that no one had come inside before you, and once the door is closed, it cannot be opened again. Now everyone goes to their respective places. They were about to attack Adlet with their weapons, but Mora snatches them. Nashtenia was not able to understand why they were all suspecting Adlet. Hans tells her that he was the first one to enter the temple and that is why he did all this. But Nashtenia was not able to believe anything he said. So she asks Flamey to tell the truth, but Flamey also thought that Adlet did all this. Seeing all this, Adlet understood that Flamey was not saying all this on her own. On seeing this, he asks Nash Tania to support him, but Hans, Chimo and Flamey all three wanted Adlet to be killed. Hearing all this, the knight suddenly attacks Adlet. Seeing this, Hans also starts attacking him, but before they could harm him, he bursts his smoke bomb there, due to which they could not see anything there. Taking advantage of all this, Adlet immediately makes Flamey unconscious with a poisonous needle. He kills everyone and threatens everyone that if anyone moves forward, then he will kill Flamey in front of everyone. Seeing all this, Nash Tania feels that everyone was right in saying that Adlet is a fake hero. Now Adlet asks them all to move out of his way and explodes a smoke bomb again and runs away from there, but Hans somehow throws a knife from a distance which injures Adlet, but he still does not stop and runs away from there. After the smoke of the smoke bomb subsides, Mora and Chimo run after him, but they come to know that he has put nails everywhere outside the temple. After going a little far, Adlet tries to take out the knife stuck in his waist because he knew that after some time Flamey will also regain consciousness, but he is unable to do so and falls unconscious. On the other hand, all the other heroes were tired of searching for both of them, but Neset Nia was very sad about Adlet betraying him like this. Now Adlet lies unconscious in that forest for a long time. He sees in his dream that he is fighting with his friend, in which his friend defeats him and says that you are slower than my 90-year-old grandmother. If you want to live in this world, then you have to become strong. On coming home in the evening, Adlet tells his sister that he wants to collect mushrooms all his life like his father, but after a few months when his family was killed by the Demon King, he goes to the king with the desire to become strong, on which the king considers him a useless person and tells him to survive like this. Now Adlet gets angry. He goes and starts shouting at the king. Then the king beats him a lot and asks him to smile despite the pain, on which Adlet starts smiling. With this, Adlet's eyes opened and he regained consciousness. He sees that his life was saved by none other than Flamey, on which Flamey tells him that she still thinks that Adlet is a fake hero, but she is waiting for another fake hero to come, on which Adlet tells her again that he is actually a hero. But Flamey does not believe anything of her. When Flamey feels cold, Adlet collects wood so that he can light a fire, but he is unable to do so, on which Flamey lights a fire using her magic. She wanted to know why Adlet wants to become a flower crest hero even though he is weaker than all the other heroes, on which Adlet tells her his story that a few years ago when he went to seek help from his master, he saw that his master always remains hidden among the mountains and does not use weapons. He keeps making weapons so that he can kill monsters. He used to train Adlet daily and forced him to study at night. He used to tell him how weapons are made. This kind of tough training created a passion in Adlet to become the most powerful person in the world. Hearing all this, Flamey feels that something must have motivated Adlet, and that is why he took such tough training. But Adlet tells him how in childhood a monster came to their village when all the children were playing there. One of Adlet's friends got angry at that monster, but that monster did not say anything to him because he wanted to talk to the leader of his village. The next morning, the village leader asked all the villagers to leave the village so that they could go and live in the village of D-Man King. But some people of the village did not agree with the leader, due to which all of them were killed at night, and among them was Adlet's family, who was killed while trying to escape from there, and this is the reason why he wants to become the most powerful person in the world. Hearing all this, Adlet gets angry at that monster. Flamey tells her that she is jealous of her indetermination and she has no hope to stay alive. After this, she tells her story and tells that when she was born, her monster mother gave her magical power, and to please her mother, she has killed many people. Even her mother deceived her and tried to kill her. After seeing all this, she thought that she should kill Dem King. Adlet believed all the things said by Flamey because she felt that both of them have the same past and their pain is also the same. Now Flamey again creates her gunpowder through her magic and gives it to Adlet. She tells that whenever she needs Flamey, she should throw this gunpowder on the ground, but the next time they meet, they will definitely kill each other. Saying this, Flamey disappears in the darkness. After walking a little further, Mora and Jimmet see her and start asking her about Adlet, on which she tells them that after she regains consciousness, she has lost her senses. Adlet had already fled from there, so she could not catch him. Mora believes all her words and asks her to rest in the temple. Now the next morning, Mora tells everyone that Flamey is also with them now because Adlet is a fake hero, but Hans was not at all sure about all this because he knew that Flamey was lying. Now Knight was worried about how to catch Adlet, on which Hans tells him that he will definitely come here because all his weapons are lying here. Flamey tells them that they do not have time for all this, on which Knight suggests that they all should go and find Adlet themselves. Seeing this, Mora asks all the members of the group to go in different ways, while she asks Hans to stay there. Now all of them go to the forest to find Adlet. Nash, Tania, and Knight were with each other. Nash, Tania still wanted to support Adlet. On the other hand, Adlet sees everything from a tree. He knew that they all had come to the jungle to search for him, so he was not going to get a better chance than this to get his weapons back. Seeing this, he goes back towards the temple, but as soon as he reaches there, he barely saves himself from a knife attack. In fact, this attack was done by none other than Hans, who was sitting on the wall and watching all this. He comes down and attacks Adlet with his blade, but Adlet tries to deceive him with his smoke bomb, on which Hans saves himself from his stroke. In this way, a very fierce fight takes place between them. Both were overpowering each other, but Adlet somehow throws his smoke bomb on his face and runs away from there. But in all this, Adlet's eye was also hurt, so he collides with the pillar in front. Now as soon as he falls down, Hans attacks him again, but Adlet manages to save himself and run away from there. But then Hans also comes there, and again both of them start fighting with each other. Adlet understood that he cannot run away from there, so he leaves all his weapons and attacks Hans only with a blade, due to which his sword slips from his hand and hits the tree standing behind. Actually, Adlet wanted to prove that he is innocent. That is why he does not kill Hans. Now all this seeing this, Hans asks him why he did this. Adlet tells him so that he can prove that he is not a fake hero. Now Adlet thinks that the fight between him and Hans is over, but it was not so because then Hans tells him that he is a fake hero and he had activated the barriers. Hearing this, Adlet is shocked and immediately runs to grab his weapon, but now it was too late. Hans takes advantage of this and kills Adlet, but this does not happen. Adlet was just thinking all this. In reality, there was nothing like that. Actually, Hans did all this to find out the reality of Adlet. Both of them knew that neither of them is a fake hero. After this, both of them shake hands with each other. On the other hand, Mora and Flamey reach the place where Flamey had left Adlet, but they do not find Adlet there, on which Flamey thinks that he must be watching them hiding on a tree. Mora tells him that if she sees him, she will kill him immediately because he is their enemy. Now on the other hand, Nest, Nia and Knight had reached near the village of Dean King. Nest, Nia still thought that Hans was the real traitor, while Knight was thinking the opposite. He thought that all this was done by Adlet. After this, we see that Hans climbs the walls of the temple and finds out that there is no such way to come here through which someone can come here secretly. Hans thought that someone must have come here before them who activated the barrier system. Then Adlet thinks that this barrier system can be turned on only by the person who has learned the way to turn it on, so both Hans and Chemo are innocent. Now Adlet goes out to find Chemo, after which she finds Chemo. Hans tells her that Adlet is innocent, but Chemo does not care at all about this because she wanted him to kill Adlet. She tells them that she wants to kill all of them because only in this way the real truth will be revealed and she will be able to fight the Demon King alone. Saying this, she keeps her magic flower in her mouth, due to which a lot of water starts coming out of her mouth. Actually, she can eat anything with that water and turn it into a monster. Now many monsters start coming after Adlet and Hans. Seeing this, both of them run away from there to save their lives. Adlet also uses smoke bombs, but it does not help him. Now both of them go to a place where there were many pillars so that those monsters could not come after them, but those monsters came there as well. Adlet attacks those monsters with his sword, but the monsters regenerate from the region from where they were cut. They were not able to understand why Chemo wants to kill both of them. Chemo said that any one of them could be a fake hero, so she will kill all of them. Saying this, she starts taking out more water from her mouth, due to which more the monsters had arrived there. Adlet and Hans were killing those monsters, but they were regenerating again. Adlet said that if he makes Jamet unconscious, then he can stop those monsters, but when he starts doing so, those monsters save Jamet. Now Hans was not able to understand anything that how will he save himself from all of them. Then Adlet thinks of a plan. He kills those monsters one by one, and when those monsters start regenerating attacking again, he asks Hans to attack Chimo. Hans understood this plan of Adlet. Now when Adlet was killing those monsters, Hans takes advantage of this and starts attacking Jamet. Jamet creates another monster due to which Hans falls backwards, but Adlet supports him and throws him back towards Chimo, due to which Hans was now successful in making Chimo unconscious. After making Chimo unconscious, all the monsters turn back into slime. They leave and all the water goes back into Zimet's body. Adlet and Hans were surprised that how they were able to save themselves from such a strange ability of that little girl. Now they tie her up and bring her inside the temple and ask her if she knew beforehand that there is a barrier system around the forest. Hachimo tells them that she did not know that such a thing exists in the forest. Then we see that Flamey is running in the forest. Actually, she had to face the battle that is going on outside the temple. Adlet was now going back to the forest so that he could meet Flam because Flam still seemed innocent to him, but Hans was thinking the opposite. His doubt was still on Flam. Adlet reaches the riverbank and throws gunpowder on the ground, which made Flam know where Adlet is at that time. On the other hand, Morocco was very angry on reaching the temple that Adlet escaped from him this time too. Hans tells her the truth about Adlet and says that we should find the real fake hero who is not Adlet but someone else. On the other hand, Flam is surprised to see Adlet surviving, on which Adlet tells her that he has come to know that the barrier system was activated even before going to the temple. Actually, that commander had lied to us, and when those monsters attacked us in the forest, that was the reason that they should go towards the temple, and the commander had also lied to us that the barrier system can be activated by putting a self. There was nothing like that. When we were trying to remove the fake, that barrier system was activated. Hearing all this, Flammy tells Adlet that Hans is definitely the fake hero. On the other hand, Nestnia also doubted Hans. She tells Knight that Hans came to know that she is a princess even before she told him, on which Knight also feels that Nestnia is right because Nestnia is a princess. Only Knight and Adlet knew this. Now the scene changes and we see Flammy and Adlet again. Adlet tells Flammy that he can prove that Hans is a real hero. On Flammy's asking, he tells that in the fight between them, he tried to kill him, but then seeing that Adlet is innocent, he left him. Flammy starts laughing at this because Adlet could not prove to anyone that Hans is innocent. Adlet thought that all this was done by some magician, but Flammy tells him that any magician can use his magic only to a certain extent, and fog outside the temple cannot be created in a few seconds by any magic. After this, Flammy throws gunpowder on the ground using his magic, due to which a huge pit appears in the ground. There were many drums kept in that pit, and these drums used to give power to the barriers present in the entire forest. Apart from this, there cannot be two barrier systems in the same forest. All this showed that Flammy knows a lot about that forest and the barrier system present in it. After this, the scene changes and we see that in the temple, Mora was angry about why she could not find Adlet till now. Hans tells her that Adlet is innocent, but Mora felt that all this was Adlet's plan, so she wanted to kill him. Now, on the other hand, Flammy said that Adlet should surrender, but Adlet was not ready to do so because he wanted to stay alive and protect Flammy, and if he had surrendered, it meant that he got trapped in the real mole's plan and got killed. Seeing this, Flammy asks Adlet that why are you supporting me from the beginning and why are you not understanding me as a fake hero? She tells him that if you don't tell me the truth, I will shoot you with my ass. To which Adlet tells her that when he saw her for the first time, he found her very beautiful and he wanted to stay with her all his life because she is his soulmate. To which Flammy tells him that she cannot stay with anyone because when the Demon King was killed, her own family threw her out of her village. But Adlet refuses to accept this and starts insisting that he will always stay with her. Seeing this, Flammy gets angry at him and she shoots him. But that bullet did not hit Adlet. Actually, Flammy had fired the bullet only in anger, but she did not want to kill Adlet. Now she uses her magic again and creates a bullet with gunpowder. After that, she makes a bullet after which the sound of another bullet is heard in the forest. Now all the other heroes present there also hear the sound of that bullet, on which Mora understood that Adlet could not prove to Frame that she is innocent. After this, she returns her flower weapon to Chimo and asks her to stop Hans so that she can go to Adlet herself and kill her. After this, she activates her magical power and announces to the heroes present in the entire forest that she is going to kill Adlet. Hearing this, Hans also comes there and stops Mora from doing all this, but Mora does not listen to anything she says. Then Chimo uses her magical power and calls all the monsters there again. Hans understood that Mora is actually a fake hero. On the other hand, Flamey was continuously firing bullets at Adlet and was not listening to anything she said. Now Nest Nia, who was present in the same forest, also started believing Mora's words that all this was Adlet's plan and she had done all this. In all this, Nest also tricked Nia. Thinking all this, Nest Nia gets very angry and using her magical power, she cuts all the trees present in her blades. On the other hand, Flamey throws a ball towards the sky, on which the ball bursts in the sky. This means that she was calling her friends, that is, the rest of the heroes there. Along with this, she also attacks Adlet, but Adlet escapes from her attack and runs away from there. He tries to escape from there, but before he could escape from there, Flammy runs after him and throws another explosion on him which falls in front of Adlet and explodes. Adlet saves himself by taking a high jump, but then Flammy starts attacking him again, which Adlet dodges in the air itself, due to which there was smoke everywhere, but as soon as the smoke clears, Adlet sees that Flammy is also injured. Now as soon as he runs towards him to save him, Flammy again starts shooting him with her gun, due to which Adlet falls after hitting a stone. Then Mora also comes there and along with Flammy, she also starts attacking Adlet. Adlet saves himself from this attack of Mora with great difficulty. Now in return, he also uses his trick, but Mora very easily saves herself from his attack, but Adlet uses his smoke bomb again on that, and due to this, he also kills Adlet. Taking advantage of the situation, he starts running away from there, but then we see that when the smoke clears, Adlet is standing in front of Flamey. As soon as Mora goes towards Adlet to kill him, Flamey stops her by shooting in front of her and tells her that Adlet is surrendering, on which Mora asks Adlet to accept his fault, but Adlet refuses because he was just surrendering. It did not mean that he did all this. He shows Mora and Flamey a device which can easily identify monsters. When Flamey uses that device, it turns red. Adlet tells Mora that the device turning red is a sign that Flamey is a half monster. He tells that he had also used this device on the stairs of the temple so that he could find out whether Flamey had come here before or not, but according to that device, Flamey had not gone there, so Flamey is innocent. Hearing all this, Flamey is shocked. Actually, Adlet now tells her the truth. It seemed that Adlet had told all this so that Flamey is not trapped in this plan and killed like her. Mora starts hitting Adlet now, but Flamey stops her, but Mora does not listen to Flamey and starts attacking Adlet again when Flamey throws a smoke bomb at Mora, taking advantage of which Adlet runs away from there and while leaving takes Flamey with him. Seeing this, Mora gets very angry and now she starts attacking both of them continuously using a lot of her magic, but Adlet and Flamey were still protecting themselves. Then a lot of blades fall around Adlet. On looking ahead, she finds out that Neset Nia is there, who is now attacking her because she also wanted to kill her now. Seeing this, Adlet is surprised and says to Tania that have you gone mad, on which Neset Nia tells her that she wants to kill her because she has betrayed her. Flamey tells her that there is nothing like that, Adlet is innocent, but Nest Nia does not believe anything of hers and using her magic, she throws a lot of blades towards Flammy, on which Flammy catches all those blades through her skill and drops them on the ground. But Flammy and Adlet were now badly trapped because Mora and Knight also started attacking them, from which Flammy and Adlet were saving themselves with great difficulty because Nest Nia's spikes were now attacking Adlet from the ground, which Flammy was destroying with explosion bombs. On the other hand, Mora was also attacking them from all sides using her skill, and Knight was also supporting them in every way. Now there was smoke everywhere in the forest. Taking advantage of this, Flammy asks Adlet to go towards the temple so that they can go there and take the help of hands. Knight was not able to understand why Flammy is helping Adlet, on which Mora tells him that Adlet has taken her along with him. After this, Mora attacks Flammy, from which Flammy saves herself. On the other hand, seeing Adlet going towards the temple, Nest Nia starts following him. On reaching the temple, Adlet calls out the name of Hans, but there was no one there. Then blades are used again, which means that Nest Nia has also come there. Seeing those blades, Adlet saves himself. There were a lot of pillars behind which Adlet was hiding himself from Nesnia, but Nesnia was continuously attacking Adlet in different ways. Now Adlet goes into the forest again to save himself, but even there Nesnia was attacking him from every side, out of which one blade hits Adlet's leg, due to which he falls on the ground, and then Nesnia comes there when she was about to kill him. Adlet was continuously trying to convince her that he is innocent, but Nesnia was not able to believe him. She doesn't give up on that and makes her final attack, which Adlet stops with great difficulty with the help of his hand and breaks Nesnia's sword and kicks Nesnia and throws her away. Just then Night arrives there, but Adlet somehow saves himself and runs away from there. Now he was badly injured, and due to this he was not able to run with the same speed as before. Now he starts throwing the weapons he has on the ground so that he can run easily, but just then Night arrives there and attacks him with his heavy weapon. Adlet tries very hard to stop him, but this time he fails, for which Night scolds him very badly. He throws him on a stone, and due to this Adlet gets injured badly. Now he was not able to get up, and then all the heroes also came there. Morana asks Night to kill Adlet immediately, but Night was surprised that why is Mora in such a hurry. Then Chimo and Hansby come there. Both of them tell that they have come to know everything. Now Nashnia had understood that all this is Mora's plan, but Mora says that Adlet is actually a fake hero. On this, Adlet tells them that he could have proved that he is innocent, but he let all this happen so that he can bring the truth in front of everyone. He tells that the barriers were activated at the same time when he entered the temple. Now on hearing this, none of the heroes present there believe Adlet, because according to them the barrier was already activated, but Adlet tells them that the fog was not created due to the activation of the barrier, but it was created due to the low temperature of the forest. Mora says that this is not possible because even the King of Ice and King of Snow cannot create folk without activating the barrier. Actually, Queen of Sun was kidnapped by that fake hero, and all this was done by her forcefully. He tells that whatever that commander had told them was also a lie, because all this was done by the monsters, because those monsters had attacked Beam in the jungle, and when I entered the temple, Queen of Sun was killed, due to which sunlight was not able to reach the ground, and due to this fog spread everywhere. Therefore, that fog was not created due to activating the barrier. Rather, the barrier was activated by that fake hero later in all this confusion. Everyone was surprised to hear all this, but Mora was still not able to believe Adlet's words. Adlet tells them that the mole had activated the barrier of Queen of Sunday. The body is hidden somewhere around here, on which Hans searches for that body and he finds that body. Actually, it was inside the body of a dead monster. Mora says that Adlet had planned everything beforehand, but now no one was believing her. So Mora accepts her mistake and says that she did not do well with Adlet. Now all of them start feeling that the real culprits are not there. Now everyone was not able to understand who the real traitor is. Then the monsters of Zimmit bring 2 plates. She tells that she has taken it out from the ground of the temple, and it was also the sword which when hit on those stones activates the barriers. Hans tells that one of these stones is a copy of the Real stone, and on one of these stones, spells are written to activate and deactivate the real stone. Hans tells that to activate it, one of those 6 heroes had to drop his blood on the real stone, on which Adlet starts remembering everything. It is about how Neshat Nia broke the keystone by spilling her blood on it. Now Neshat Nia, seeing that she cannot hide herself, tells everyone that she is actually a fake hero and she did all this to trap Adlet because he was an easy victim. But the way Adlet saved herself from all this, Adlet is now very impressed. Chimo asks her why she wanted to kill all the heroes, to which Neshat Nia tells her that she wanted to create a world where monsters and humans can live together, and all this was possible only when all the heroes are killed, even if for this she has to evacuate more than half of the planet. Now after hearing all this, all the heroes are very surprised that how can she think like this. Adlet asks her to kill Neshat Nia, to which Neshat Nia transforms herself into clay and falls on the ground. But everyone thought that she is still alive. Hans runs into the forest to see this, and Adlet now faints due to extreme fatigue. When he regains consciousness, he sees that he is now lying in the temple, and there are a lot of bandages on his body which were applied to heal his wounds, and they were applied by none other than Flamey. He sees that the hands have deactivated the barriers and Shitnia has fled from there. Now Adlet comes out and he finds out that the knight is very sad there because Shitnia had betrayed him. Now as soon as he looks ahead, he sees Flamey in the forest. He goes to her and asks if she will stay with him, on which Flamey tells him that she wants to stay with him because in this way she will be able to live her life well. Hearing this, Adlet becomes very happy because this is what he wanted to hear. He says that now we will together kill the Demon King and win this war. Then a girl comes there whose name is Rolo. Naya was there and she was the scent of blood, which means that she has blood magic. She tells everyone that she is also a hero and she got late in coming here because of the barrier being activated in the forest. Now they all get worried seeing another hero among them. Lonia also shows her flower crest to everyone. Then the king also comes there and tells them that monsters are coming to stop them all so that they cannot kill the Demon King. On this, Adlet goes ahead and tells the king to activate the barriers so that we can kill the Demon King, saying that they can go to Dong's village and kill him themselves. Now all of them one by one start going towards Demon King's village so that they can go there and kill Demon King and win this war, but to see whether they will be able to do so or not, you will have to watch the next part of this episode.